council chamber fell silent as Colonel Vaxter's translator crackled to life. This human is your champion. His mandibles clicked, a gesture dripping with amusement. Captain Sarah Chen stood at attention, her compact frame dwarfed by the towering Cretheian warriors lining the obsidian walls. At 5 feet 4 inches and barely 140 pounds, she looked like a child among giants. She is, Ambassador Torres replied evenly. Backer's 6 eyes narrowed, each pair scrutinizing a different aspect of the human before him. The Cretheian Empire has ruled this sector for 3,000 cycles. Our Apex Guard are bred for combat from birth, enhanced with biological augmentations, trained in 17 forms of combat. He gestured to the 7-foot warrior beside him, muscles rippling beneath crimson scales. This is Gene Eth, my finest. He has killed on 43 worlds. Sarah didn't flinch. Your species has been in space for 2 centuries? Vaxter continued. You have no natural armor, no claws, no venom. Your bones break like dried reeds. He leaned forward, breath hot and sulphurous. You are weak, perhaps, he said quietly. But I'm still here. The challenge had been issued 3 weeks prior. The Cretheian Empire demanded Earth's colony on Proxima 7. Surrender its resources or face annihilation. Humanity, still young among the stars, lacked the fleet strength to resist. Yet they invoked the ancient right of trial by combat. One champion, one victor, winner takes all. The Cretheians had laughed until Earth sent Captain Sarah Chen. Very well, Vaxter hissed. The trial begins at dawn. When Gene Eth brings me your head, perhaps your species will learn humility. The arena was a natural amphitheater carved into an asteroid, open to the void, held in place by a shimmer field. Thousands of aliens from across the sector had gathered to witness the spectacle. The mighty Cretheian against the fragile human. Gene Eth entered first, armor gleaming, carrying a plasma-edged blade that hummed with lethal energy. The crowd roared. Sarah walked in wearing a simple combat suit, carrying nothing. She has no weapon, someone shouted. She has no chance, another replied. Vaxter stood in his observation box, mandibles spread in satisfaction. This will be over in seconds. The field marshal raised his hand. Begin. Gene Eth moved with predatory grace, closing the distance in 3 massive strides. His blade sang through the air, aimed at Sarah's neck. She wasn't there. The Cretheian blinked, enhanced reflexes struggling to track the human's movement. Sarah had dropped low and rolled left, her small frame making her nearly impossible to target. Gene Eth's blade struck stone, sparks flying. He spun faster than should have been possible for his size, swinging horizontally. Sarah dove forward inside his guard. Her fist struck the exposed tendon behind his knee joint. The impact seemed insignificant. Gene Eth laughed and backhanded her with his free hand, sending her tumbling across the arena floor. She rolled to her feet, blood trickling from her lip. Is that all? Gene Eth howled. I fought insects stronger than you. His leg buckled. The Cretheian caught himself, confused. The human strike had barely registered, yet his knee had failed. Sarah circled, breathing controlled despite the pain radiating through her ribs. She knew what she'd done. Humanity's body might be fragile, but precision mattered more than power. Gene Eth charged, blade high. Sarah sidestepped and struck again inside his elbow. Weak again, barely felt, yet his fingers spasmed, and the blade clattered to the ground. What are you doing? His translator asked, confused. Humans are weak, Sarah said, breathing hard. That's true. We're not the strongest, not the fastest, not the toughest. But we've spent 200,000 years learning exactly how to break things stronger than us. She struck again, his ankle, wrist, other knee. Each hit surgical, targeting nerves, tendons, pressure points. Gene Eth roared in frustration, movements sluggish and uncoordinated. His limbs no longer obeyed properly. In the observation box, Vaxter leaned forward. Satisfaction replaced by unease. Sarah pressed her advantage. She didn't need to overpower Gene Eth. Every species had vulnerabilities, points where nerves clustered or joints articulated. Humanity had cataloged them on Earth's predators. Now, with access to alien anatomical databases, they had done the same across the galaxy. Gene Eth swung wildly. Strength meant nothing if he couldn't connect. Sarah was always moving, always striking, dismantling him piece by piece. Finish this, Vaxter commanded. Gene Eth tried, but his body betrayed him. Augmented muscles fired out of sequence. Reflexes scrambled by targeted strikes to his nervous system. He stumbled, crashed to one knee, then the other. Sarah stood before him, battered but standing. He never. Gene Eth lunged one final time. Sarah's palm struck his throat, collapsing his primary airway. The massive warrior toppled backward, gasping, clawing at his neck. His emergency respiratory system kicked in, but panic had set in. He had never felt helpless before, never felt like prey. The crowd watched in absolute silence as the apex guard thrashed, screams echoing in a dozen languages, all conveying the same thing: terror. Sarah knelt beside him, pressing precise points on his neck. His airways opened. Yield, she repeated. I yield, Gene Eth whispered. Baxter stood in the council chamber, posture different now, smaller. The terms will be honored. Proxima 7 remains human territory. Ambassador Torres nodded. We appreciate your integrity, Colonel. Baxter's eyes fixed on Sarah, bruised but calm. How? He asked simply. You called us weak, Sarah replied. You were right, but you mistook weakness for helplessness. Humanity learned long ago, on a planet where everything was bigger, faster, stronger, that the best weapon isn't power. It's knowledge. Understanding exactly where to strike, when to move, how to turn strength into liability. She met his gaze steadily. We're weak, Colonel. That's why we're dangerous. Baxter said nothing. There was nothing to say. As the humans left, he turned to Gene Eth, recovering in the medical bay. The warrior who had killed on 43 worlds looked diminished, haunted. She barely touched me, Gene Eth whispered. And yet, she dismantled you, Baxter finished, gazing at the stars, at the vast empire built on strength alone. Perhaps his species had much to learn from these fragile humans after all. Please follow my channel for more videos. One click from you can change my life.